Good morning, everybody. It is 5:15 here in the islands. Just got to my sunrise location and it is looking like a bust. There is an opening of clear skies underneath a bunch of high clouds, but that's only like slightly to the right of where the sun is supposed to rise. So yeah, I don't know. It's not looking too great. But I'm just gonna sit in the car for a little bit and see if any conditions change. If it looks good, then we're gonna head out. And if you're watching this, that means they had some potential. If not, then you're never gonna see this. But obviously, if you're watching this, then something did happen. So stay tuned for some seascapes, quick seascape shoot in the morning. And yeah, let's go. It's happening. It's happening. I spoke too soon. The sun is gonna rise in that right by that small little pocket of light. So not exactly ideal. There's some color in the sky though a little bit, so I'm gonna just try to set up a quick composition. Yeah, hope for the best. So this, even though it may look like it, the sky isn't really doing much right now. So I'm just gonna walk you guys through a little bit of like how I set up my composition from like a point of view perspective. So right now you're looking at my main stills camera, the Sony a7R III. And when you look at this scene, whoa, those waves were big. When you look at this scene, there's like a lot that's going on. Like there's a lot that's happening. We have rock cliff faces on this side, rock cliff faces on this side. We got the ocean, we got the sky. So like when we're trying to go through composition, I always try to look for like what is it about the scene that is really speaking to me. Obviously we have this nice flowing water, but shooting straight out into the ocean, I don't know, that doesn't really do this place justice. So if I were to set up my composition this way, obviously we have like the two sloping peaks, which is nice, and we have the water in the foreground, and that does make for a pretty decent composition. But the composition for me always has to work with whatever light is going on. So because we're not getting a lot of light on this side of the scene, I realized that the light that we do get eventually is probably going to be right over here on this opening in the clouds to try and allow some of that light to sneak in. So trying to like frame my composition that works with whatever light is given to me at that moment. So in order to get that, I'm walking over on this side, and this is like the composition that I eventually settled with. Actually, I set a vertical composition like this, and the reason is because we still get the water motion, and when the water does eventually crash all the way, it does create like a nice curve in the water due to this rock bank on this side. Also, we still also get this cliff here on the right side, which is nice. It creates a nice shape, a nice mid-ground, and then we obviously have the clouds and the light in the background. And when framing a composition, less is more. So obviously this cliff right here is very nice. It's very photogenic, and I've shot it many times before. But when you're just looking for like a nice photograph, having something like this where you're just using one cliff, the water, and this rock here as foreground, it creates like a more compelling composition. It creates a composition that has less distractions, less for the viewer to look at, and it really focuses in on what the photographer was really seeing in that moment, and focuses on I guess creating a better overall image. When we're starting in photography, the tendency is always to go super wide, capture everything, and honestly I still have that tendency. I love my wide angle lens, but using that wide angle lens to really focus in on specifics in the landscape is I guess like the next progression after that initial like phase of like pointing your camera in every single direction and capturing everything that you see. composition is one of the most important things in landscape photography, and not just in landscape photography, but any photography in the world. A lot of photographers just get caught up with the settings, like the technical side of landscape photography, which is, in some ways, if that's what that makes them happy, it's a good thing. But composition, more than getting the image sharp, getting the image correctly exposed, editing the images so that it creates a very tasteful look. All of that is trumped by composition. If you mess up your composition, then your photograph is going to suck regardless of, no matter how sharp it is, no matter how technically good the photograph is. If your composition isn't good, then it doesn't create that well of a photograph. So if there is like one tip of advice that I would give photographers like just getting started into this, is to just like find and point your camera at anything that piques your interest. If it catches your eye, find a way to frame it in your camera in a way that enhances that one subject that you're trying to photograph, and try to find other elements around that subject that really help tell a story. The interplay between the water and the rocks and the cliffs, as well as the light, hopefully, is a story that I'm trying to tell in this situation. It doesn't have to be like super complex, it could be super simple. If you're at a sunrise, you can just zoom in on the sunrise, and if that's what you want to capture, that's what you want to capture. If you want to like do more research, there's all those rules of photography composition, like the rule of thirds, the what is it called, the golden ratio or whatever. You can look at those if you want, and you can try and follow those things if you want, but at the same time you have to follow what's inside of you. Composition doesn't have any rules per se, and there's no right or wrong way to do a composition. Just frame things in a way that looks right to you, and frame things in a way that makes you happy. And if you do that, then you'll be happy with the photographs. Other people might not be as happy with the photographs, but as long as you're happy with the photographs, you're happy with the composition, that's all you can really ask for in landscape photography.
Oh snap, here it comes. Getting ready.
So obviously you guys saw that time lapse. Pretty cool sunrise. It was unexpected. I didn't realize that it was gonna pop out a little bit. Really nice light beam that's still kind of going now, but I think I got a decent shot out of it. I had to adjust my composition facing this way. This is slightly more towards where the light was. I guess for me, but this might not work for you, but for me personally, the light always has to work with the composition, and if the light is kicking off somewhere else, and even though your composition may be great right where you are, still probably better to like change up your composition to fit with the light, just like adjust, fine-tune it every now and then. That's why I like having a tripod, because it allows me to like slow down and sit on a composition and really try to like work it and tweak it a little bit as the light changes. But yeah, anyways, moral of this video is think about your composition, because it's the most important thing in landscape photography. But other than that, I think that just just about does it for me here today. I'll throw some B-roll up at the same time, because it's just a beautiful morning. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the like button, leave a comment below, and subscribe if you are not already. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Shoots.
Thank you, Danny, for picking up all the rubbish. Trash squad.
A little bit helps.